Hello, my name is Patty, or Curly Wavy Patty. I'm gonna show you the whole process of how I go from this to this, my whole wash day routine. I'm also gonna give some tips along the way so that hopefully they can help you style and figure out your own hair. If you're someone who's just starting out, then this is the perfect video for you. First off, let me just show you how my hair used to look like. This was back in 2020 when I just recently stopped straightening my hair and actually tried to take care of it. Lockdown started, I wasn't going anywhere, I didn't feel the need to straighten my hair since no one's gonna see me anyways. And so that's what I did, and now months and years later, this is where I'm at. If you want tips on how to get started specifically, let me know in the comments and I can do a separate video on that. Okay, so let's get started. This is actually my day 5th or 6th hair. It's crusty and dusty and dirty and just gross. I was supposed to wash it yesterday, but I got lazy. So anyways, first step, before I even go in the shower, I like to detangle my hair first while it's still dry with some oil. Yes, shocker, I know. You're not supposed to brush your hair dry. I'm gonna explain why I do this, but before that, let me just show you how. I take some oil. This is usually the one I use. It's from Hair Story. I'm halfway done with it, but actually I'm gonna try something else today. This is from JV and it's so pretty. Take some oil on my hands and kind of like emulsify it. I mostly focus it on my ends and then work my way up. I'm also just gonna put some on my scalp because why not? I like oiling my scalp too. I feel like it helps lift up buildup if there's any, and it also just feels good, so why not? So back to why I like doing it this way instead of detangling in the shower with conditioner. I used to do that, but I find that I actually lose less hair doing this instead of, you know, in the shower with conditioner. From what I know too, our hair is actually weaker when it's wet compared to when it's dry, so it kind of makes sense to me why it would be potentially better to brush your hair dry. But I definitely think this applies more to wavy hair than curly or, you know, coily hair, because in general, obviously it's easier to detangle wavy hair. So honestly, just do what works for you. Try both and see which one is better for your own hair. That being said, whichever way you choose, make sure you're not brushing so aggressively, and also use a brush with a flexible bristle so that you also don't cause extra tugging on your hair, which can cause a breakage. If you want to see how much hair I lose, this is how much. Obviously I lose more hair in the shower, but from detangling, this is how much I lose. Anyways, I feel like I rambled on detangling. Let's move on to washing. I recently got my hair colored, so I like to use color safe shampoos. This is the one I've been using a lot. It's from K18, but I also like this one from Priology. I'm gonna link everything in the description below. Nothing really special here, just make sure I really get in there. I also like using a scalp brush to massage my scalp and also lift up any buildup, especially because I only wash my hair twice or even once a week, so I make sure I do it thoroughly. You're probably thinking like, what the fuck, did she just skip conditioner? This girl does not know what she's doing. But let me explain again. I skipped conditioner only because I am using my K18 leave-in hair mask today, which is meant to be used without a conditioner. Because I don't know, something about the conditioner blocking this from working. I love it so much. This is literally my second bottle. This is empty. But anyways, I take only like 2 pumps of this and just rake it all over my hair. I see it as basically a conditioner and a leave-in conditioner in one, and it's also a repairing product, so it's really good for damaged hair. Now for my favorite part, styling. When it comes to styling, I like to keep it simple AF. Girl, I used to do the absolute most when I first started. You don't understand. Leave-in, cream, mousse, gel, foam, oil, what have you, all the steps, because I don't know, I thought I needed it. Everyone said to do that, so that's what I did. Now that I know my hair better and I've tried a lot of like product combinations, styling routines, techniques, I just really boil it down to the necessities, which is a conditioning product and a hold product. A conditioning product is what, you know, conditions the hair, moisturizes, makes it soft, like a leave-in or a cream. Now, a hold product is something that holds the curls and the waves and makes sure they are long lasting. Like a gel, and some mousses have hold, So those type of products. And listen, I know with gels you might say that, no, I don't want my hair to be crunchy and all that, but I promise you it's not gonna be crunchy. I don't want that either. You'll just see at the end. So anyways, back to styling. I just section my hair. I usually section the top more, but honestly I'm kind of lazy today, so we're just gonna do the top and the bottom. Now I'm just re-wetting my hair because I like styling on wet hair instead of damp. I feel like it gives me bigger clumps and just like juicier and bouncier. I feel like with damp hair usually gives me like stringy results, which, you know, if you want that, then I would totally go damp. So for the conditioning product, I'm using the Kerastase cream. This is literally how much I put on the bottom part, and you see how it's also lightweight. I love using lightweight products because my hair is like on the fine to medium texture, like the width of my hair, so it gets way down easily. Which reminds me, knowing your hair characteristics like your hair density, porosity, and texture, those really help you figure out what kinds of products may work well for your own hair, because remember, we all have different hair. Now for the gel, I'm using this one from Curl Smith. I love it so much. It's my second bottle because it is also very lightweight. Again, just raking it through. If you want to know what my favorite products are, I have it listed in my shop line by category: shampoo, conditioner, styling products, everything. So if you need some recommendations, definitely check that out. But honestly, if you take anything away from this video, just one thing, let it be this: focus on trying out different styling techniques instead of obsessing and overthinking about which products you should get. Okay, because I 100% think that technique matters more than products. Not saying products don't matter, it obviously does, but what good does it do if you're not using it correctly for your own hair? So anyways, let's start brush styling. I like using a brush that gives tension, like a boar bristle brush. This one is from Carlico. It's a brand from the Philippines, but there's a lot of options out there. What I love about it is that it really brings out my waves and curls because of that tension. So anyways, I grab smaller section and just brush them through away from my head because that really helps me with volume. I shake it a little at the end and just give it a little scrunch. I do the same thing for the top part, apply my cream and gel, and then start brush styling. If you like having a super defined part, then this is the time to do that. You would just part it and brush it on that direction. But I like having more of an undefined part, so it's more flexible and I can put it anywhere I want to, and this is how I do that. Basically, I take smaller kind of like zigzag sections and brush up and away, and then I just keep taking opposite sections like that all the way to the front. And do you see that root lift too? That's what brushing up and away does. My hair is not stuck on my scalp, and you know, just adds to the volume. Now I just turn my head around side to side and upside down and give it a little scrunch. And by the way, my hair is still wet at this stage. Like when I scrunch it, I should be able to hear this squishy sound. Sometimes I also finger coil my front framing pieces because they get the most frizzy. Okay, all done. Now I just wait for about like 5 minutes and then I start plopping or microplopping. Usually I use my microfiber towel, but I don't want to stain it, so I'm just using an old t-shirt here and then I just start scrunching gently. This removes excess water from my hair so it doesn't get weighed down and also makes drying faster. Almost forgot, I spray some heat protectant first before diffusing. Now I start diffusing. I'm not gonna get into it in this video just because it's gonna be too long, but if you want a tutorial, definitely let me know in the comments. Okay, BRB. Okay, I'm back. Usually it takes me like 15 to 20 minutes, and this is how it looks like right after. You can see there's like a little bit of a crunch, but that's a good sign because I know that means the definition is going to last. But we're not done yet. Very last step is using an oil to scrunch out the crunch. So I literally just take some oil, maybe like that much, emulsify and start scrunching. This one is from Kerastase. It's literally the best oil. I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with this oil. It's pretty pricey, so it's definitely like a treat yourself kind of thing, but if you're looking for an oil, I definitely recommend this. Let's do one side first so you can see the difference. So I just do like the praying hands motion, place my hand on my hair with the oil to break up that cast, and then start scrunching. And look at that difference. You can see there's much more bounce and volume here. while this is, you know, crunchy looking. I did the other side and now I'm just shaking my roots and fluffing it for some more volume. And that's it. It typically takes me about 40 minutes to an hour to do everything, from washing, styling, diffusing, all that. And I only do it twice or even once a week, so it's really not that bad for me. Definitely comes down to practice. I know it seems like a lot of work, and it is, especially if you're just starting out. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. So yeah, that's my whole process. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. If you did, let me know in the comments. Also, if you try anything from this video, either the techniques or the products, whichever, let me know. I would love to know. Oh, and also I'm gonna post on my Instagram, TikTok, and maybe Pinterest too, how this hair held up through the week. So if you want to see, make sure you're following me there. All the products I use in this video will be linked in the description below. And since you're already there, you might as well hit the subscribe button. So freaking hot. You ever just like massage your head? Because, you know, it feels amazing. Ow. Ow.